Stings, doesn't it?
Hello everyone, it is Briximus Prime, back for another Transformers double review, and today we're going to be reviewing the Transformers Kingdom Predacon Scorponok and the Transformers Legacy Sandstorm. And just like the Waspinator and Buzzsaw double review, I'm reviewing both of these guys together just so that I'm not repeating information that I've already done in two separate videos. Instead, just get it all done in one video put together. So anyway, let's just get right on into the review by starting with the packaging on these two. And taking a look at the packaging, I love the classic, nice artwork they've got right up here at the front for Scorponok. This is Transformers Kingdom, War for Cybertron, Deluxe Class, Transformers Generations, Predacon Scorponok. Got the Predacon logo right there. Here on the side, got some nice Kingdom artwork. Authentic Transformers! Here on the back of the box, obligatory product shots and stuff like that. That's really it for that box. Taking a look at the Legacy packaging, I love this really striking looking artwork with the nice, complemented by the purplish colors and everything. It says Legacy, Deluxe Class, Predacon Sandstorm, Transformers Generations, and for some reason it does have the window on these packaging. Has Legacy right there, nice Legacy artwork. Authentic Transformers! Man, these guys are really authentic. And then here on the back of the box, nice product shots, and just like the Buzzsaw figure, there is no barcode here to scan for the figure. Come on, Hasbro. I really liked those, so why didn't you put it on the exclusives? But anyway, that is really it for the packaging on this guy. As for the accessories, both Sandstorm and Scorponok come with the exact same accessories, just, colored in their own, custom color schemes. Scorponok and Sandstorm both come with the little Cyber Bee robot drone thing here. This one's the Scorponok one, looks accurate to the Beast Wars cartoon show, and then Sandstorm's right here is just the same thing, just colored up in that Sandstormy color scheme. And then Scorponok comes with this pair of red missiles, and then Sandstorm comes with a pair of purple metallic missiles. And for these accessories, storing in both of the robot modes. And just like in the Beast Wars cartoon, these accessories are able to launch out of Scorponok's 5mm ports in his claws, and because Sandstorm's a repaint, he does the exact same thing, so they just store right there in the claws, and you can obviously close up the claws, and now they've got those weapons hidden away so they can sneak up and get on those Maximals. And taking a look at Scorponok here, I really like how his head sculpt came out. I really like how it looks very faithful to the original 90s cartoon CGI model. He's got that big old frown on his face and that nice healthy amount of gold and metallic paint. Coming down the figure, I like how all across the figure it has this kind of buggy, realistic texturing going on throughout the whole figure. Also forgot to mention there's the stinger right up there, looks very nice. And then there's his big old claws. And again, there's nice highlights of gold paint all throughout the figure and all that nice realistic texturing. But this figure does come with a couple of downsides, such as compared to the original CGI model from the 90s cartoon, this guy looks a lot more fat. It really looks like Scorponok's put on a little bit of weight. Not just that, but also this figure has quite the amount of back kibble. And because of this guy's loose knees and loose joints, he really has a hard time standing up, and he's very wobbly, and sometimes I even have a hard time getting him to stand up. Man, I just can't stand it when a figure just won't stand up. Okay, I'll admit that joke was absolute garbage. And now going over Scorponok's posability, he does have a swivel joint here at the ball joint at the head. There's also a hinge joint here at this stinger. There is a ball joint at the stinger. There's also a hinge joint down here, but that's more for transformation. The shoulders can shift up and down, but that's more for the transformation. And then it can move in and out right here as well. Shoulder can rotate. He does get a bicep swivel, 90 degrees of bend at the knee. He does get a wrist swivel, and then the claws can open. He does have a very limited waist swivel, but if you shift around that tail back there, it does open it up a little bit more. Hips can move forward. They can't really move back that far. They can move outward that far. He does get a thigh swivel, which feels a little too loose. Loose knee joints, but they do bend in over 90 degrees. And then the ankles can hinge down, but this one doesn't have the heel move. This one does have the heel move due to transformation, and then they both have ankle pivot. So pretty decent articulation here on Scorponok. It's just due to his, top-heavy design and his loose knees. His slightly inaccurate cartoon design does make him a little bit susceptible to falling over, which I'd rather have the figure feel a lot more solid than be cartoon accurate, but then again, cartoon accuracy is always appreciated. And now taking a look at Sandstorm's head sculpt. This head sculpt is made brand new just for this figure. If any of you are wondering where it's based from, it's based on an old battle mask gimmick that the original Beast Wars toy of Scorponok had back in the 90s. And this is what that battle mask looked like. And so, anyway, that's just why it looks like this. But it doesn't look that bad. I think it was molded pretty well. Now, basically this figure is the exact same thing as Scorponok, but in this sandy color scheme. The context behind this character, if any of you are wondering, according to my sources, which is TF Wiki, here's a screenshot right here, Beast Wars Sandstorm here is apparently he's an old BotCon toy repaint from, like, the mid-2000s, and basically the lore behind this guy in that old BotCon comic is that he is one of those first creations of Primus before Primus created the whole Cybertronian society and the original 13 Primes, yada yada yada. And yeah, basically that whole piece of lore about this guy being one of the first creations of Primus was the main reason that made me go and buy this figure. If it didn't really have the lore implications, I probably would not have bought this guy. His articulation is literally exactly the same as Scorponok, right down to the ball joint at the head, which can just shift from side to side and can look up and down a little bit. Shoulders can hinge up and down, they can rotate, shoulders up here, nice swivel, tail can down, ball from the tail. 90 degrees at the elbow, wrist swivel, claws can open, and then he does have eliminated wing swivel, he can move forward, he can move back, he can move upward, he does have a thigh swivel, then the ankles move down, and then he has a One thing I will say about the articulation here is this guy does feel a lot better than Scorponok because he has his hip joints and everything, unlike Scorponok, are actually nice, buttery, tight, and smooth. And so this guy is actually more of a joy to pose and handle than the actual Scorponok Kingdom figure. Here they are with my previous review, the Transformers Legacy and Kingdom Waspinator and Buzzsaw. So be sure to check out that review if you guys missed out on it. Here they are compared next to the movie Michael Bay Scorponok. Here they are compared next to the original Earthrise Titan class Scorponok. So anyway, that's it for the comparisons. And now I'll transform Sandstorm and Scorponok into the Scorpion mode. And here is taking a look at Sandstorm and Scorponok in their Scorpion modes. That realistic texturing that was shown in the robot mode is really put on display here in the Scorpion mode. Especially here with this realistic looking scorpion head with the nice pincers with that slight realistic curve right there. Overall, I think they did a pretty bang-up job on the Scorpion here. It's got that nice plating going right there, which some of the hinges are actually hidden right in there. The Stinger looks really well. I guess the only thing I could really complain about is that when hinging the Stinger forward, there's not really any way to get it to sting all the way forwards. You can't actually get this guy to like legitimately sting anyone with this Stinger back here, but it is still a very cool looking Scorpion, and it's actually a really good size for a deluxe class, I must say. But yeah, going over the Scorpion's posability here, the head can hinge up and down that little bit. Shoulders, the arms here have the exact same posability as they did in the robot mode with the bicep swivels and everything and the claws opening and closing. All of these legs are on ball joints, with these two being on a ball joint, this one being on a ball joint, and this back leg being on a ball joint. And then there's a slight hinge right here at the tail, hinge right here, and then a ball joint at the Stinger. These bug legs do get very finicky and very messy trying to pose them around, but once you get them in a pose, it don't look too bad. So that is really it for the Scorpion mode right here. The only other thing I could really complain about is I wish this thing was just that little bit more solid, because it almost feels like it's about to fall apart whenever I play around with it, mostly because of the legs being very finicky to mess around with. The Sandstorm one, I do like the way how it came out with the head and everything. Again, the texturing looks very nice, only this one does look that teeny bit more realistic besides the purple. But what I do like about the purple being here on the Stinger and on the legs is it does emphasize the fact that this guy could be powered by Dark Energon, possibly. But overall, I do think the figure did turn out well with its, the kibble management and all. And then, like, the whole legs concealing themselves within the body and then in the tail. Like, it's a really good engineering. Like, even though it does kind of make the figure seem a little stiff, I do think this is a really clever and really intuitive engineering idea for the Scorpion. It really makes the robot mode hide away in this very realistically shaped arachnid scorpion mode. I really do like the way it came out. And again, posability on this guy was exactly the same as the other one. And then here is the Sandstorm and Scorponok with my last Transformers review, the Waspinator and Buzzsaw. Be sure to check out that review if you missed out on it. Here they are with the Michael Bay movie Scorponok. Here they are with the Transformers Earthrise Titan class... wait. Pardon the dust on this guy, guys. And that is basically it for my review on the Transformers Kingdom Scorponok and the Legacy Sandstorm. And yes, the figures are pretty good. Specifically, the Scorponok is a pretty good representation of the character from the 90s cartoon of Beast Wars, but he is inaccurate with, cartoon accurate inconsistencies, just like Waspinator, but also just like that Waspinator and Buzzsaw that I previously reviewed, the Sandstorm figure completely diminishes all of those cartoon inaccuracies because it's not in the cartoon show. So all of the stuff that's inaccurate on Scorponok is just only accurate to the actual character of Sandstorm that much more, because Sandstorm is his own separate character separated from that cartoon materials. They do have the back kibble that kind of weighs them down a little bit. The Sandstorm, I think, is just that little bit more of solid just because of its tighter joints, and it makes him a little more tolerable to pose. But I don't really give a crap that much about the Sandstorm as much as I do about the Scorponok. Other than that, that's really it for this review. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, be sure to give me a like on the video. Comment down below what you guys think. If I had to give these figures a rating, I give the Scorponok a solid 8 out of 10, maybe closer to a 7. And then the Sandstorm, I give a solid 7 out of 10. And yeah, that is basically it for this review. If you guys enjoyed it, leave a like, comment, yada yada yada, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you guys next time.